back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drew B. Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing it to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community, because this is the greatest job on earth. Doesn't matter where you come from, what background, what personality type, what gender, you're going to make an amazing life in sales. And today's guest is no stranger to that journey. She's my new friend, Miss Leslie A.M. Smith. How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm great, Drewby. How are you?
I am crushing the daggum day. I'm excited to be here with you, and I really just want to jump right in. I want to hear your crazy sales story.
Sure. So it's my mission is to help everybody be a better communicator, really, at the core of it. And so one of the things that, and this has happened more than once, where I've been referred to a business, I've talked to them a little bit, and just listened. What are your problems? What are your pain points? You go through everything, and then I'll come back. I say, okay, well, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to send you a proposal, and I'm going to call you back. We're going to talk about this some more. And because I've listened and I've basically just regurgitated back to them what they wanted, instead of coming up with only what I want to do, I'll say, I totally understand. And most people may do this, but my technique is this, whatever. Then they listen to me back and they'll go, how did you know? Because they forget what they say. And so listening, and they remember those pain points, but they forget that they've told me. So I seem like a magician. They're like, how did you know that? Well, this is exactly our problem. Oh my gosh, how did you know? And that's happened more than once and turned into great retainers. And we've worked with them for years. What's been horrible is when I'm on the receiving end of sales calls and they lie. You told me to call you back. And I'm like, really? When did I do that? And they'll give me some date, and more than probably 5 times in 30 years, more than that probably. But my husband's a mortgage broker, and these will be mortgage calls to refi. And I'm like, we never talked to, I have that built in my life, right? I'm like, I'm not going to talk to you. And they'll go, no, you told us to call you, it was back on, May 31st, whatever. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure you didn't talk to me. Oh, maybe I must have talked to your husband then. Surely you did not talk to my husband. Because guess why? And they're like, why? Because he's a mortgage broker, and they hang up. So don't lie. And that's people because I'm sincere with them. And so sometimes agencies, because I do PR and marketing, so sometimes agency have their, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And I try to do a more boutique, customized response to what they need. And I've seen a lot of different stuff in 30 years that, gets down to the same similar core stuff. So a lot of my proposals are copy and paste, but they don't know. I've just listened to them and then tweaked a few things and used the same keywords that they gave to me. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're so different. You're right. Your no nonsense, theme is perfect. You're so refreshing. Like all I did was listen.
It is incredible to me, the power of linguistics, language, communication, and how easy it is for a sales professional to feel like they're hearing all the things, and then when they're repeating it back, they're not using the same word. It might be similar, it might be in the thesaurus right next to it, but if you're not using the same word, like, oh, this thing, makes me frustrated, and then you repeat back, well, I understand why you'd be angry about that. That is not the same thing. It is not the same level of communication. And so I love this topic. I think it's something that not enough sales professionals nerd out on. So what are some of the key things that you need to do to be a better listener?
That it's an excellent point, Drewby. And what's interesting about is the pathology on that. Like most of us will mirror, right? So we'll say, yeah, frustration. And sometimes if we're talking, person to person, if you cross your leg, I might cross my leg. And it's just natural that people will mirror. The people who don't mirror are sociopaths. Clinically proven. They're sociopaths. And so you have to watch out for that. That's a tell. Like, you fold your arms and then I fold my arms and then you might scratch my chin. Suddenly I have to scratch my chin. And that's just very, if somebody yawns, we all yawn, right? It's contagious. We're humans. At the core, we're all connected at some level, right? And the people who don't mirror like that, they're sociopaths. They are outliers, and you have to be careful. They may be narcissistic. They may have all sorts of other things, but it's really interesting. And so sometimes on purpose, you mirror with a person. So especially if you're in person, you always want to sit across the table from the decision maker. So that puts you in line with them. And if they steeple their hands, you steeple your hands. So they notice that you're in sync with them. And then mirroring those same words. Yes, frustration. I get it. Tell me more about your frustration. Right. And then you might think, oh, frustration leads to anger. And so, but that's on you to then find out and sort of flesh out and sort of use those facilitative, tools and say, so does that ever make you angry? Because I know when I've, tried to make a reservation, this happened this week, tried to make a reservation online and couldn't make it happen. And look, there was no phone number. So I got out my contracts with this company and just started calling numbers. And then somebody was a jerk and didn't listen to me. And it took 4 tries to find, and the chat bot didn't work. So all this tech was not, I just needed a human, a kind human who was going to listen to me. And so the first guy just kept dismissing me. And I said, I'm looking at this thing that says my balance is $83.50. When I go to spend that, it says I have 4,000. So where's the discrepancy? He goes, no, you don't. You have 4,000. So I'm looking at this screen. Can I send you the screenshot? No. Can I talk to your supervisor or somebody else who's willing to hear me? He wasn't even asking what the URL was, like, where are you in the site? No. If you want to text somebody else, you have to call back. Frustrating. Now I'm angry because now he's like totally dismissing me. Oh, the little lady. And that's what some of those mortgage brokers would do, where I must have spoken to your husband then. Like, no, you didn't. You surely didn't talk to him, right? You would have taken him off your list.
Lying right now.
Right? And you're calling my business line. So this wouldn't have been the number you were talking to him. Like, none of that adds up. Now I'm angry, right? It went from frustration to angry. So you can lead to that, but you have to ask those questions. And asking questions, it makes people feel like they matter, that you care. They feel at the very primal level, they feel loved. One of my mentors many years ago, she said, Leslie, just recognize this. And if you want to call it love or attention or whatever warm, fuzzy thing, people are either asking for love or they're giving love. So when you put people into those 2 buckets in any conversation, you're like, okay, they're not giving me love, right? They need love, right? It's just, okay, I hear you. My gosh. And they need that empathy piece. That must have been very frustrating. Did you end up getting angry? Like, what else? And you can sort of summarize those feelings as they're telling you the story, but then play it back to, if they're not saying frustrated, they're just like, I was at my wit's end. Oh, was it frustrating? Was that the word you're looking for? Is it anger? I mean, where were we on this spectrum? And you ask those questions and they feel more loved. It's a gift to listen to somebody. And so many times, I mean, back from working retail in the mall when I was in high school and college, some people just need to be heard. And
amen.
If you're calling someone out of the blue and you don't know what's happening on their end, and so you can't take it personally. That's another, well, I just work here. That doesn't fly, right? You're connecting with another human and you're representing that company. So from a PR perspective, you're on stage. You are on stage with your branded logo. You're representing that company. And so if you've called them and they're like, what? You're calling me at the wrong time. No. You go, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll try calling back another time. But don't go, it's not my fault. Why are you mad at me? Like, why? It's obviously not about you. They just answered the phone call at a bad time. You have no idea what's happening in their worlds, right?
And I love this conversation already. Like, I'm in tears laughing because it's so true. And we've all dealt with those individuals. and with the hype of AI right now, like I'm a firm believer that it's a very powerful tool. And also all of these marketing gurus that are selling everyone on these AI bots and these AI callers, like they're in it for the fast money because it's a hype thing.
Mm-hmm.
But 99% of the people that I talk to that have like real serious issues and questions, they don't want to talk to a robot. They don't want to deal with your chat bot. They want to speak to a human that's actually going to care. And so I think it's a phase. I could be wrong, but I think it's a phase. And I think
right.
there's going to be a resurgence of people who are genuine communicators and who really understand that level of empathy and confidence and the ability to mirror and to actually ask those questions. And I want to take this a step deeper because I think there's layers to this communication piece. And I want to know how to make sure that small business owners like aren't making the mistake of having their marketing say one thing and their sales team saying another. So like, what are some of the big mistakes you see there?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny you bring that up. There was a time I've been on a fair number of community boards. And so every once in a while in LinkedIn, I'll get this thing, do you want to be on a paid board? Well, I've been doing this stuff for free forever. Sure, on a paid board. And so there was this, there was a guy who was following up with phone calls. And did you see our ad on LinkedIn? We identified you, blah, blah, blah. I go, yeah, it sounds great. And so we went through all of this stuff that he's like, we'll take your resume and we'll polish it up and, do all this stuff. It sounded like a great benefit. Like, even if I don't get on a board, you're going to give me like, what's the most marketable part of my resume? Because I don't know anymore. I'm a Gen X and the young people tell me I'm irrelevant and old and I deal with old media because I send out press releases, right? And so they're like, tell me what it is, uncover those hidden gems for me. And, we'll give you, go through the whole process of what they're going to do. So then he hands me off. And somebody makes an appointment and I have to send them my resume. And plus they have whatever's on LinkedIn and I have to send them a headshot and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we're going to get on this 1 hour call to talk about this more. And she goes, we get on the call and she goes, okay, what's your biggest asset? And I go, well, I think it's this, but what did you see in my resume? She goes, well, did you send us your resume? Yes, that was part of it before this call. Oh, I don't know. Let me look. And then she asked me she's like, well, how many boards have you sat in? I go, I filled out that whole form that did everything I said. And I go, should we reschedule this? She goes, yeah, you're not prepared. I'm like, are you insane? And so I said, no, this is what this man told me, and I believed him, and I was all in on this. It sounded like this wonderful process, win-win, right? I was going to, have my image spruced up on my resume and be able to help a board and make a few dollars, whatever. And I'd be willing to travel, right? Don't you want a little trip to New York to sit in a boardroom and give your 2 cents on your expertise, right? How can we improve their sales team, right? Review their stocks or whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, so I had to go back. I said, this is what he told me to do. She goes, no, we don't do that. Oh my God. You need to walk through your customer's experience from the beginning to the end. And for doctors, the beginning is when somebody calls to make an appointment. Your patient care starts there. Your customer care starts as soon as you've met the person, as soon as you've called the person. That's when it begins, and it needs to be consistent all the way through. They ended up apologizing and whatever else, but I'm very leery of other companies that offer that. I'm like, no, it was sort of brutal. And she was kind of mean. And so I'm like, no, I don't know that I want to do that. Sounds like it's the same thing and that. So you need to go through everything everything they're seeing on their website. So why do I have this discrepancy of 8,350 and 4,000? Because they're calling both things a balance, and that's not true. The 8,350 was the value of my portfolio of all the timeshare and hotel points I have with this company. So that was everything if I hadn't spent anything yet. So I finally got to somebody who She wasn't even aware of that screen. She was, show me where it is. She's like, oh, I see. And admitted they made a mistake. They should call it, the portfolio value. I'd already done things. He goes, well, this is how the jerk said, this is how you change your options to hotel points. I'm like, I've already done that. He goes, then why are you calling? It still says I have these points. So, and that's, sometimes people aren't great at discerning what is this person not understanding about what I'm saying. And so I call it AM/FM, which I got this quote from a soap opera one year. So it's the same.
I'm loving this. Tell me more.
It's the same airspace, different wavelengths. So one person speaking in AM, the other person speaking in FM. And so you're there and you're saying words, but they're not resonating. And the other, nobody's there. You need a referee. You need somebody to go, like, what are we not seeing? And sometimes the person don't repeat with the same words. Like, why is this not happening? We don't do that. But the man told me you did this. I don't know why I told you that. But why? So what do you do? I'm here. This is what I do. You tell me this stuff. I'm like, so what was the point of submitting it? I don't know. I don't have it. Like, okay, back up. The same with the points. Like, it says I have points and points. So he's like, no, you don't. You have 4,000 points. And he just kept refuting me instead of saying, where are you looking at this? Oh my gosh, that must be frustrating. There was no empathy piece whatsoever in his script. Oh, I'm so sorry. Jeez. And when you've been on the phone with good customer service, that's what they do. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they don't take it personally. They don't go, don't get mad at me. Okay, this isn't going to go well. If you can't quell my frustration or anger at this point on a phone call, right? We're not even face to face. Like, you need to be able to say, let's take a step back. So what is it you're looking at? Let's figure it out and use I statements. I need to see where that is. Let me know, instead of, oh, you're just looking at the wrong thing. No, don't say you. That's going to make me defensive and that's going to make it escalate. So using those I statements, I want to help you. I need to understand. So I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. We're just going to walk through this. And that's basically the person who I finally reached. That's basically how she scripted it. Let's go through this. And then she went through my portfolio. She went through everything. And then she goes, and so when I go over to this side, to this screen, it has this many points. And I'm like, okay, I also have this. Tell me that URL. Then she looked at it and she was, okay, I am so sorry. We have given you the wrong impression. We need to change that. And I will take this to my supervisors. Right? So it was awesome. Right? I'm like, okay, but I should have gotten to her first. And take the chatbot down if it doesn't work. Which chatbots drive me crazy anyway. But, don't have it on there. It's a tease. Like, oh my goodness. So
I had a crazy experience like that. So like I work out at Planet Fitness and I bought the Planet Fitness membership specifically because it says use any Planet Fitness anywhere you go. And I'm like, nice. Fantastic. We travel all across the country. I was in Florida for a month. We were in Savannah, Georgia. Like, we've gone all over the place and used this membership.
That's great.
And so I start going to this one in Michigan, and I'm going every day, no problem. Everybody's kind, friendly. And then I walk in one day, and I scan my little barcode, and the young lady's like, oh, you're denied entry. And I'm like, did my payment fail? Like, what? Why? Oh, well, you've already used the maximum number of attempts to come into this gym. And I was like, I have an unlimited membership. I don't understand. And there was like another guy in the back who was on the phone, and I saw him kind of turn around and kind of give me this like crappy look. And he's like, oh, no, it's not really like that. It's limited. And I was like, that's not what your sign says. That's not what, the things are. And he's like, well, you can only use it so many times in a month, and then you have to pay to come in. And I was like, well, that's why I pay a monthly unlimited membership. I'm not understanding. And he's like, well, you're going to have to talk to my manager. And I'm like, I'm talking to you. Why do I need to talk to your manager who's on the phone right now? Like, explain to me where any of this comes into play. And apparently there is a limit that you can only use you can only use a gym that's not your home gym 10 times in a month. And then there's some kind of contractual thing. And I was like, Well, that was never explained to me. And I've traveled all over the country and used gyms for weeks on end and never had anyone say anything. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Right.
And Leslie, it's 5 a.m. I'm double scooped up on pre-workout. So I've already got like the workout rage running through me. And the guy's like, well, you can change it in your app. And I was like, fantastic. Let me pull up the app.
Here?
And I pull up the app and I will change it right here. And so I'm like going through and I was like, can you show me where in the app that I can do that? And he's like, oh, well, you just click on this and you go there and then it'll let you change it. So I'm like, click. Where do I click to change the thing? And he's like, oh, I guess it's not in there. You'll have to do it at your home gym. And I'm like, okay.
That's
let me
3,000
finish my
miles
workout.
away.
Let me go and I will call the home gym because no one's going to answer at 5 a.m. Like, let me get my workout. I will change it. And he's like, puts his hand out on my chest and is like, well, you're going to have to pay to come in today. And I'm going, sir, I don't think you understand that I will rip you across this counter right now and shove your face in the dirt. But I'm not going to do that because I've changed my ways. I'm not a young degenerate anymore. Like, I don't act that way. But it's crazy to me how customer service has gone out the door and people have no respect for the fact that, like, when they're an employee in a company, they represent the whole company.
Exactly.
And I think there's a level of this that there's going to, like I said earlier, a resurgence of those who have true communication skills and empathy and understanding on how to work with people. It's going to completely flip the world on its head. And I love folks like you that understand that and want to show others like how to change and how to get this right. So like, if you are working with a small business owner, like what would you do to get themselves to like turn this around in their company?
Right. I think the biggest thing, and I feel for you with Planet Fitness, and like, it doesn't cost them anything to let you work out, but the value of you saying, you were so great. Thank you so much. And if he said, check in with me after your workout, looks like you're ready. We're glad you're here. Right. Why are you so far away from your home gym? Like, I'm super curious like that. Like, what are you doing? No mad life. Oh, I want to hear about this, partner. Okay. So you, right. Come back to me after your workout and we'll figure this out. And if we can't, thanks for coming by. Because then when you go online or go to your home gym or whatever, then you have a positive story to tell. And you're like, yeah, they were great. And I love my fitness. And I didn't realize I had to change this thing, but they were so gracious about it. And they blew that opportunity. Right. Yes.
Oh, I left them a really nasty 1-star review. And, I did all the things.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's a really unfortunate. I'm so sorry. Yeah, those kinds of things just drive me crazy. And so you really need to put yourself in the mindset of the customer. And that's not hard, right? And so you just think, what if you were me? You're traveling around the country. You purchase this mostly for this benefit that was listed. There's no strings attached listed here. I don't know where to find that. It's in some little.
It was buried in fine print in the contract, of course.
Right. So right. And then just be gracious about it. Like, and I think every business owner too also has to think about, you need to think about your customer experience. You need to think, even if they're buying earrings online, right? Like, what is the return policy? What is, all of those kinds of things. And when they contact you, be apologetic and win that customer. And then, go through all of your systems, make sure everything is complete. I wrote this book, Newton's Laws of Promotion. I took Newton's Laws of Motion, took it into promotion. And the last one, it's the third motion is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So when something goes bad, so that's the action, you need to be equal and opposite. So not only did he need to go, opposite, like they're not letting you in, he needed to let you in and maybe give you 3 guest passes. You need to go above and beyond to make things good. But if you're thinking about it, when you start your business, it's all an experiment, right? I think I don't need to offer a refund policy. But then if you find out your earrings keep breaking, then you need to close your shop and re-engineer that and figure out what's not working. Right. Yep. And then, nobody wants broken earrings, especially halfway through their night and their, danglies fall down. Like, right. So you need to think about what that means to them. What is the impact of that? It happened in their wedding. Oh my gosh. So you need to go back, and that experiment wasn't working. Whatever, your glue is bad or old or whatever, and you need to retool that, reinvest in that person, make it good for them above and beyond, right? And address their concerns publicly. I'm extremely sorry and embarrassed that happened to you. My God, right? And then retool your business and call it something else, because now you have a really bad rep, right? Right. But taking responsibility for it, knowing that there's going to be things that happen that are wrong and you're responsible, and making sure that you're considering those things from the get-go so that it's as seamless and as pleasant an experience for your customer as possible. And then making sure everybody you hire is well-trained. And if they can't take the call, they need to be able to pull somebody else who can come in. Right? Because if we're just talking in different wavelengths, just to have an intermediary get on the phone and go, oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. And it makes everything A-okay. Did I answer your question?
You did. And what's really fun about this conversation is that it really brings to light the importance of customer service and communication. Because when you're in sales, your job is to serve the person that you're speaking to deliver them the product that they're looking for in a way that makes them feel good about it, so that they're excited to swipe that credit card or stroke that check or send the wire, right? Whatever your payment method is, the cash on cat. Like, if they feel good, they're going to be more apt to make a decision. And the decision that they make is going to lean closer towards what you're wanting them to do, so that you get what you want, they get what they want, and everybody's happy in the end.
Exactly. And people are willing to pay more for good customer service.
Amen.
Right? 100%. Like, yeah, it's Amen. A little bit more, but we had this pool contractor. Okay. Excellent customer service. And he was more expensive than some others. We were building the pool. It was in fall and we had a ton of rain. He had to come he would contact us every day. It's pouring rain. We know they're not coming, right? But he'd call. Hey, Dennis and Leslie, wanted to let you know it's still raining. The forecast is it's going to rain for another 3 days. When it stops raining, we'll come and we'll empty the deep end. And there are 3 projects ahead of yours. So if you don't see us, don't worry, right? He'd call back the next day. Still raining. Forecast is the same. They haven't extended the rain, so we're still on same schedule. It was perfect. Like, some other people are like, our pool guy started. We haven't heard from him. That's awful. Like, you have a big hole in your ground. It's a safety hazard. You have possums swimming. Otters have moved in. Right?
Well, we wanted a pool and we got a zoo. Turns out, this is the way it goes when your contractor doesn't want to call you and let you know what the heck's going on. And,
right.
and Leslie, we could probably nerd out and laugh about this for the next several hours, but I want to be respectful of your time, because this has been an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
And hopefully not our last. But for now, what's the best way for us to find you, follow you, come check out your book? I think that's an amazing theory and premise, so I'm going to order it because I want to check it out. But how do we come and check it all out?
Very good. So everything is at my website, McCormickLA.com, and it's McCormickla.com. And if you go through the tabs, you'll find everything. But if not, just email me at Leslie@McCormickLA.com, and I'd love to hear from you. I love to talk. Thank you, Drewby.
Yes, thank you. This is have been one of my favorite conversations of recent episodes, because It was very... Like, I'm in tears laughing about all the silly things that we've chatted about today. And I know that far beyond the laughter, there was some absolute gems that people are going to be able to take out of this, whether they're in sales or they're business owners or maybe in the customer service department of their business. Like, there's a lot that's going to happen. So I'm truly grateful for the time and the opportunity. And if you're here with us still and you got some value out of the show, you enjoyed it, and you laughed as hard as we did, share it on social media, tag us, let people know that you've invested a little bit of your time, that you got something out of it. maybe send it to someone that sucks at customer service. Like, let's help them get better at life, because that's what this is all about. And, Leslie, again, this has been awesome. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Drewby. I love this. And from talking to this, I think I'm going to create some classes on communication that aren't listed there yet. So for sure.
Well, you send me the previews of them, because I want to check them out. I think it's going to be great. And listen, If you guys have a great sales story, there's some things that need to be heard by the community, I'd love to bring you on the show. Head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Send us your details. Let's get you on here. Let's share your story. Let's get the world in a better place, because this is the greatest job on earth. You can do amazing things, but you got to be a good communicator. So make sure you check out Leslie's book. Make sure you check out all her content. Go to her website. We'll see you guys on the next one. Go call the damn leads.
Thank you so much.